John Ganandria, Apple's top AI exec since 2018, is stepping down from the company. Meanwhile, the company has tapped a former Microsoft and Google executive, Amar Subramanian, to lead certain parts of Apple's AI research efforts. Joining me now is Aaron and Aaron. Aaron Tilley covers Apple, and Aaron Holmes covers Microsoft. Aaron and Aaron, welcome to the Aaron Show. It's great to have you both here. I am strictly going to refer to you both by last name, just like we did in high school, although nobody could pronounce my last name, so I went by Akash. Tilley, let's start with you. Let's start with the news. Walk us through your reactions to Ganandria stepping down. Was this a surprise to you?
Yeah, so this wasn't a surprise at all. This had been, I think, quite a long time coming. This had really been expected by both folks internally and externally. And I mean, primarily that's because Ganandria struggled to fit in and work out some sort of cohesive AI strategy at Apple. Especially earlier this year, the delay of an overhauled Siri, the big sort of more personalized conversational Siri was delayed, and that was like just a big blunder for Apple after promising this. So he'd been struggling for years, and this had the writing had been on the wall for a while.
Okay, now, and the writing had been on the wall. This is not the first departure we've seen at Apple with respect to AI, right?
No, there's been a number of folks from their foundation model team. This is the team that would be building their version of sort of a ChatGPT, their own large language models. And their head of that team, Ruming Peng, left earlier this year for Meta, and he took a lot of his team with him. And with his departure, there was also a large number of other folks leaving for other AI labs. So this was sort of there's been sort of a long unraveling of some very important folks from Apple's AI team.
Aaron Holmes, let's talk about the new guy. Who is the new guy? He comes from Microsoft. What did he do there?
Yeah, so Subramania was working on Microsoft's MAI team, which is their in-house team led by Mustafa Suleyman that's trying to train their own AI models that, in theory, could swap out for OpenAI's models in their Copilot products. They've mostly been primarily reliant on OpenAI's models, but they want to be a bit more self-reliant. But his tenure at Microsoft is a little bit hard to judge. For one, he only joined the company a few months ago when he was poached away from Google DeepMind. And my understanding is that he was working on post-training Microsoft's models, which is kind of the process of tweaking the models after they've had their original training run. But since then, Microsoft has kind of teased some of their models, but they haven't actually published, detailed specs or model cards, which makes it a little hard for people in the AI community to know exactly how successful their training and post-training have been so far.
So he was only there a couple months. So is he like a superstar? Like, I mean, is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's kind of tough to tell.
Before Microsoft, he was at Google DeepMind, which I think is seen as basically one of the gold standards of AI research, especially if you want people with experience building, models and AI native products. So I think that gives him certainly like the sheen of top AI talent. And I think while he was at Google, he was working on the Gemini app, which has had a lot of different iterations over the past couple of years. But it's safe to say that played into the decision to recruit him at Microsoft.
Okay. Tilley, what's he going to be working on at Apple? Is he's not totally taking over Ganandria's role, right?
Yeah, he's not a one-to-one replacement with Ganandria because the Ganandria would report directly to the CEO. This time, the new leader, he's not reporting to the CEO. He's reporting to Craig Federighi, their head of software. So really a downgrade in terms of like highlighting AI and bringing the leader to the upper echelon of the company. He's also overseeing a smaller subset of the AI strategy. So the foundation model team and the AI research teams. And while the rest of the group will be broken up into different parts of the company, like the operations and services. So it's really split up and divided and is not as powerful as the former AI leader.
Right. And remind us, you talked a little bit about the delays in Siri at the start, but where are we in that story and how are things going over at Apple from the people you're talking to?
Yeah, there's a new leader of that effort to overhaul Siri, and get the overall AI product strategy back on track. Apple's targeted next year, probably spring to summer. They'll be releasing the sort of improved versions of these products. And partnering with an external LLM instead of developing something internally. So most likely Google Gemini will be the one part of the product. So Apple will be kind of moving on from something internal, but probably long term doing something internal.
Great. Well, Aaron and Aaron, it's great to have you here. I love the Aaron show as always. Only Aaron that's missing is Aaron Wu, who covers Google. And I think it's just a matter of time before we get all three of you here, and then we can really throw the podcast listeners for a spin. Thank you both for coming on. We will talk to you very soon.